Bez Hashem Yisborach, we begin Perek Chamisha Asa, the 15th and final chapter in the Rambam's Hilchos, Tefilah and the Seas Kapayim, in the Seif Hav, the Book of Love, which in this Perek we discuss, as in the previous Perek, the Birkas Kohanim, specifically what gets in the way of the Birkas Kohanim and what are the stipulations for the Birkas Kohanim. So Rambam begins halacha regarding 6 things that prevent the ability of doing the Seas Kapayim. Sheish Dvarim Moinin the Seas Kapayim, there are 6 things that prevent duchening. Haloshen, the language, v'amumin blemishes, v'avera sin, v'ashanim and the immaturity of the years, age, v'hayayin drinking wine, v'tumas eidayim and the impurity of the hands. As Rambam explains, haloshen keitzad. So what's the first one regarding language? So ilgim, those who don't have clear articulation, they don't pronounce the letters as they're supposed to. For example, alfen ainen, ainen alfen, which according to the basic halacha, one has to pronounce the ayin different than the aleph, and those who don't know how to pronounce that, at least in those times when there was people who were particular in the pronunciation, they pronounce the shin like a sin, and similar types of things. They don't do Birkas Kohanim. And the same thing is kivdei peh, kivdei lashon, those what's called heavy of mouth or heavy of tongue, people that they stutter. That the words are not recognizable for all, they do not do the Seas Kapayim. What's considered blemishes? If a kohen has blemishes in his face, or biyadav, in his hands, or b'raglav, or in his feet, for example, if his fingers were bent, or they're crooked, or his hands were spotted, there's like speckles, dots on his hands, shouldn't do the Seas Kapayim because the people are looking at him because it's something strange, and then they're going to be distracted from the brachas, which is critical, as we said in the previous parak. If someone had that his spit was dripping on his beard when he speaks, but someone's blind to one of his eyes, again, this is something that's distinctive, and people are going to look, so they shouldn't do the Seas Kapayim. Now, it means literally if he was stepped on in his city, it means to say, everyone was already familiar with, excuse me, with this person that is blind to one of his eyes, or this person that it drips from him his spit. So such a person is permitted. Everyone's already used to such a person, not something so interesting, and they're not going to look at him. And someone that his hands were dyed with this dye that's like a tchelis, like a blue, or fua, and these are these thin roots that you dye like a red from it. If his hands are with these colors, we shouldn't do the Seas Kapayim because everyone's looking at these strange colors. But most of the people in the city, that's what the work that they do with these dyes, and everyone's hands look at that. What is permitted again because they're not going to look at it, and that's the main reason, because of distraction. Halacha Gimel, regarding the next category, the third one, of Haveda Ketzad. So we spoke about the Lashon, the Mumim, and then regarding sin. What type of sin would prevent a kohen from doing the Seas Kapayim? So kohen shahariges nefesh. If a kohen killed someone, even by mistake, although he repented, it shouldn't do the Seas Kapayim. Shemaka says in the pasuk, Yedechem dam malayu, your hands are full of blood. Says the pasuk in Yeshayahu, V'rischem kapechem, and when you lift up your palms, Alam einam mekem megam, Hashem says, I'm going to turn my eye away from you. So these are not appropriate hands for the Seas Kapayim. Now, a kohen that did worshipped idolatry, whether he was forced to be mishkaga, whether in error, even though he repented, he doesn't do the Seas Kapayim forever. Says the pasuk in Lochem Beis, however, the priests that worshipped on the private altars should not go ahead and serve by the Mizbech of Hashem in Yerushalayim. Now, although that's regarding the service, the blessing of the Kohanim is the same halachas like doing the avodah. Shlomo says in the pasuk in the bottom, to serve him and to bless in his name. So there's the equivalent between doing the avodah and Birkas Kohanim. And so too regarding a kohen that he became rebellious and regarding to idolatry, meaning even though he didn't even do the worship, he just rebelled his faith regarding that of the idol. And even though he repented, he doesn't do the Seas Kapayim ever. Now, all of the sins do not prevent the kohen from doing the Seas Kapayim. Halacha Daled, Hashon Ketzah. What's the invalidation? What holds back regarding the years? So kohen nar leisas kapov, a young kohen should not do the Seas Kapayim until he reaches at least the age of when it's appropriate for him to have his beard filled in. Vayan ketzad. What's the invalidation regarding that of wine? Someone drank a revius of a loig, quarter of a loig of wine in one shot. It doesn't do until the effect of the wine is removed from it. Like we said, because there's the equivalence regarding blessing and doing the avodah, and the shikr is forbidden to do the avodah. Now, but let's say he drank a revius of wine in 2 shots, meaning not in 1 shot. Or they put a little water inside of it, then what is permitted. But if he drank more than the revius, even though it was diluted, and become pum, even though he drank it, took many shots to drink that revius, meaning that what was more than the revius, he says, he still shouldn't do this until the effects of his wine has been removed from him. Now, the common revius says Rambam, what's the revius? And here he describes the volume of revius. So it's etzba'ayim al etzba'ayim. It's 2 finger breadths square. That's the 2 dimensions. And the third one, beroim etzba'ayim, in a height of 2 finger breadths, with v'chatzi espa and a half a finger breadth, v'chomesh espa with a fifth of a finger breadth. Begoidel, if you're using that of the thumb, that's the height. And as Rambam explains, and this is the finger that we measure throughout the entire Torah. For the halacha, hu hagudla is the thumb. But nikra, and in Torah, that's what's called boyin yod. This is terminology for the thumb. Halacha, hey, the last miniyah, tumas yadayim ketzad. What's the invalidation of the impurity of the hand? So kohen shloi notlas yad, but kohen did not wash his hands. He says, shouldn't do nesis kapayim. Elonotlas yad, by the peg, rather he has to wash his hands up until his wrist. Just like it's sanctified when you come to do the avodah in the base of Mikdash. And then he does the Birkas kamshon, like it says in the pasuk, and tell him, lift up your holy hands, Hashem, and bless Hashem. So it's only after washing the hands. V'achal, a kohen that's born from the forbidden relationship where a divorcee married his father, the kohen, it doesn't do nesis kapayim because it does not have the sanctity of his kohuna. Allah above that really Birkas Kam is really Hashem's bracha. A kohen that didn't have any one of these things that holds back the ability to do nesis kapayim. So even though he's not a sage, he's not so precise regarding his performance of mitzvahs. But the people were murmuring about him, about that he does things inappropriate. Or even if his business weren't so righteous, if he still does nesis kapayim, we don't stop him. Because this is a positive commandment. Call coin by coin should own nesis kapayim for every single coin who's fit to do nesis kapayim. You don't tell a wicked person, oh, do more wickedness. And stop doing mitzvahs. So even though he doesn't do all the mitzvahs, doesn't mean he shouldn't do this mitzvah. I don't wonder and say, wait a second, what do we gain of the blessing of this regular person? Because the acceptance of the blessing is not really dependent on the Kohanim. It's really dependent on Hashem. Hashem says, Hashem says, they should place my name on the Jewish people, and Hashem says, and I will bless them. That is like Kohanim shouldn't stop, but they come just doing the mitzvah that they're commanded. But it's Hashem with His mercy, so He blessed the Jewish people as His desire. The people that are standing behind the Kohanim, they're not including the blessing. Those who stand on the sides of the Kohanim, they are included in the blessing. Now, if there was a wall, if there was a partition between the Kohanim and those who are being blessed, that are in front of the Kohanim, but there's a wall blocking. Even though it's a wall made of iron, since their face is facing towards the face of the Kohanim, they are included in the blessing. It's only those who are behind them that are disgracing as if it's not important, that are not included. I look at this regarding exceptions regarding the Birkas Kohanim is nesis kapayim basara. The nesis kapayim requires a minyan of people, 10 people. The Kohanim and the minyan, the Kohanim themselves are part of the quorum. If you have a shul full of Kohanim, so kulam nesis kapayim, they all do nesis kapayim. Now the question is, l'mihem mevarchim, who are they blessing? It's lachem shebetzafin b'lachem shebedarim. It's to the brothers in the north, the brothers in the south that are not able to make it to shul. But who answers after them? It's the women and the children in shul. Now, but if there does remain a minyan of Kohanim, more than those, besides those that are going up to the platform, so you leave 10 people to answer Amen of the Kohanim, and the rest of the Kohanim, they go up and they duchen and they make the bracha. If there was a minyan, a community that didn't have a kohen, the only one is the chazan himself. If he should not do this because he might make a mistake, he might not know how to go back and resume his chazar sashatz of simshal because he's going to be so overwhelmed from the awe of the community of doing the Birkas Kohanim. Now, but if you're so confident, they could do this and go back and daven for the Amid, Rishai, then he's permitted. Now, if there is no coin at all, not just the Chazan, not even the Chazan is not a coin, no one's a coin. So when the Shliach Tzibur gets up to Sim Shalom, meaning right before that, he says, our God, the God of our fathers, bless us with the three-part blessing that's mentioned in the Torah, because those are the three psukim. That's written through Moshe, your servant, that is said from the mouth of Aaron and his sons, Kohanim, they come your holy people. Like it says, Hashem should bless you and Hashem should safeguard you. Yard Hashem Hashem should illuminate his face to you and he should have grace on you. Hashem should turn his face to you, he should give you peace. And the summer Shemei B'nai Yisrael, and you should place my name on the Jewish people, and I will bless them. Now the people don't answer amen to these psukim that are being said by the Chazan. And then the Master of Amen, then he starts and he says the last bracha of Sim Shalom. Halachi Rav, kohen shenas kappa beveis haknesa, kohen that does Birkas Kohanim, the series command in the shul. V'halach beveis haknesa achad, then he goes to another shul. Umatz tzibur shemes ba'al, he finds the minyas davening over there. Below he gil Birkas Kohanim, they didn't get up to Birkas Kohanim. Noisi yativ lehem mavarchim, he does nesis kabam for them and he blesses them. V'afal kam pa'mayam, even if it's many times in a day. If a kohen did not yet move his feet from his place, lalis leduchen, to go up to the platform, when the Chazan was saying ritzei, so then he cannot go up to the platform anymore during that davening, even if he gets there by the time of Birkas Kohanim. But if by ritzei he had moved his feet to go up, even if he doesn't get to the platform only but after the bracha of the ritzei is over, he could go up and do the Birkas Kohanim. He has to at least move his legs. That's the criterion. Halachi Beis regarding the significance of this mitzvah. Anyone does not go up to the platform to bench the Jewish people. Although technically he's only nullifying one positive commandment, it's like he's violating three positive commandments. Because it says in the pasuk, this is how you should bless the Jewish people. You should tell them. But you should place my name. So there's three different type of commands Hashem says for the Kam to do the Birkas Kohanim. Any kind that does not bless, is not blessed. Any kind that does bless, Mizbarch, he is blessed. So now it says in the pasuk that Rambam said that those who bless you, I will bless. So if you bless a Jewish person, you get blessed. To the Kohanim, they're blessing the Jewish people, and therefore they are blessed. We've completed the halachas of Tefilah, prayer, and Birkas Kohanim with heavenly assistance.